Assalamualaikum and have a nice day to everyone. We are from CFEP 776, Master of Science in Integrated Construction Project Management, will briefly explain and present on budgetary control for the case study of Sekolah Sukan Malaysia Perlis. Our group consists of five members, which is Wan Shamsuddin bin Wan Muhammad, Nurul Hasifah binti Alias, Nurul Syaira Kasrina binti Muhammad Shah Aizam, Shirin Amira anak kepada Bita, and Said Aiman bin Said Fairuz Sazman.
So here is our content from our presentation. We have introduction and project brief, budgeting principle, tools and technique, current practice of the project, budgetary control, review discussion on the problems, financial decision to the problem occurs, sources of finance of the project, and last for the conclusion.
Assalamualaikum. I am Wan Samsudin. We started our group presentation with introduction and case study brief. We choose Sekolah Sukan Malaysia Perlis as our project study. Through a case study of Sekolah Sukan Malaysia Perlis. This case focus on real project involving the construction of the new facilities for Sekolah Sukan Malaysia in Perlis, which unfortunately faced major delay and was reactivated after becoming an abandoned project, not just one, but 3 times. To give a quick background, the project was meant to provide sport and other supporting facilities under Phase 1. However, due to the various issues, which we will touch on it later, it became a problematic project that had to be revived more than once. This gives us a rich case for examining budgetary control in real world for the construction project management. Project vision is to provide a sport regional hub for young talent in northern area. So the project scope is to develop a full equipped boarding school with all sport facilities, which is meet international standards such as FIFA and also IAAF. In any project, especially those funded by public money, effective budgeting plays a crucial role. A budget is not just a list of figures, it is a tool that helps us plan, coordinate and manage resources to ensure the project meets its objective. Introduction to budgetary control. What is a budget? A budget is a formal monetary plan of action outline expected income and expenses under anticipated operating conditions. It serves as a quantitative blueprint for future activities. Budgeting relies on accurate cost estimation, is forecasting and strong coordination between teams. In government-linked projects like this one, additional layers such as CIDB and JKR guideline comes into as a role. Budgetary control in construction. In construction, budgetary control is a structured process for planning, monitoring, and managing expenditure against approved budget. Budgetary control in this project was tied closely with government allocation and monitoring through progress claim.
Assalamualaikum and greetings to everyone. I am Shahira Kasrina Shah Aizam will briefly explain and present on the budgeting principles, tools and techniques for this case study of Sekolah Sukan Malaysia Perlis. First, I'll be presenting on budgeting principles, which are essential guidelines that support the effective management of public funds, especially in government or public sector projects. According to Patarot 2016, budgetary principles represents the values and rules that must be considered during the preparation, execution, and analysis of a budget. These principles impact the budgeting process, budgeting cycles, and other areas of public administration. There are four key principles highlighted in this framework. The first one, project scope baseline. This serves as a foundation for accurate cost estimation. It ensures that the project stays within its defined scope and helps prevent scope creep, which can lead to increased costs and delays. Second, estimation of activities costs. Here, we predict the resources required and estimate the cost for each activity within the project. Accurate cost estimation ensure efficient allocation of resources. Track earnings and expenses. This involves continuously monitoring actual income and spending against the planned budget. Doing so helps detect any deviations early and allow us to take corrective action when necessary. The last one is risk register. The risk register helps identify and assess potential risks that may impact the budget. It allows project managers to anticipate and manage cost overruns effectively. Next, I'll be sharing about the budgeting tools that are used in this case study project, which is Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Project. Let's start with Microsoft Excel. In this project reference, Excel was used to manage and build the bill of quantity (BQ), and it played a key role in tracking every element of the construction process. Some of the main use include the BQ preparation, quantity calculation, cost breakdown, and the last one for the budget tracking. So access flexibility makes it a powerful tool for organizing and calculating data efficiently, especially in the early planning in the budgeting stages. Next, we have Microsoft Project, and this tool was used to compare the actual project progress with the original work plan. So it helps in managing the execution pace of the project more effectively. It also used to visualize and manage on financial progress and the financial progress of the projects and the features that are included in the Microsoft project. The first one is the cost estimation, resource allocation, budget baseline, and the last one, cash flow forecasting. So by use Microsoft project, project managers can visualize progress, allocate resources wisely, and predict the future financial needs more accurately. Together, these both tools are support for the better control and improve the decision making throughout the construction life cycle. Now, let's move on to the budgeting approach used in the project, specifically the bottom up approach. Bottom up budgeting is a method that starts from the departmental or operational level and progresses upward to top management. Each department is responsible for identifying their own resource needs, planned activities, and cost estimates. These individual budgets are then compiled to create an overall to the company budget. One of the strengths of this approach is that the department managers are actively involved and provide accurate input since they are closest to the actual work and cost. In this project, the team followed the bottom-up budgeting techniques and they begin at the operational level at up through several tiers to finalize the project costing. The process went through these four levels. The first one, the operational teams, which is they will estimate the project need, cost, and resources. Second one, the department heads, which is they will review it and refine and compile the team budgets. The third one, finance or project managers. Their role was to analyze, standardize, and ensure that everything align with the financial plans. And the last one, top management or executive. This is for the approval stages, which is they will adjust it and finalize the overall company budget. This structured flow helps ensure that the budget is realistic, detailed, and aligns with both operational and strategic goals of the organization. In the bottom-up approach, the budgeting process starts at the project site or department level. This means that budgeting begins directly from the teams who are most familiar with the actual site conditions and project requirements. First, starts at the project site department level, which is the budgeting process usually begins with individual project sites or specific departments such as civil, mechanical, and electrical or procurement. Project managers and engineers at the site level prepare the budgets based on the several key factors. The first one, scope of work, which they will understanding exactly what needs to be done, material requirements, listing all the necessary materials for the project, labor needs, estimating the manpower that are required at the site, equipment usage, identify the machinery and tools involved, and the last one, the site conditions, which are they will taking into the account on any such specific factor that may affect the costing. Once the site teams have compiled their estimate costs, they are sent to the head officer or finance team for the further review. And then next day, after the review and the feedback loop stages, they will submit budgets and carefully reviewed by the finance team or top project managers. The budgets may go through several outcomes, which is they will maybe approved if they are clear, reasonable, and realistic, and they may be revised to align with the company budget limits or constraints. Or the last one, they may be sent back to the site teams to corrections or additional details, especially if they are missing some items or inaccurate pricing. So then they go to the detailed planning by site teams, which is the finally each department's responsible for conducting detailed and accurate planning, which must to include the exact wage calculations for all workers, forecast for bonuses or overtime where applicable, hiring or manpower planning to ensure the right workforce is available, material pricing and quantity take off so properly, estimate material costs, the project timeline and cash flow planning to ensure financial readiness throughout the project. This detailed planning helps ensure that the budget is not only accurate but also practical and directly aligned with the actual site conditions and the project demands. So lastly, for the closing statements. The closing statements is when we use the bottom-up budgeting, it comprised and can achieve more realistic budgets that are truly reflect on the ground need, which they are also allowing management to control cost effectively from the top. Now let's explore another important budgeting technique known as performance-based budgeting or PBB. Performance-based budgeting is a method that directly links the resources used, such as time, manpower, and money, with measurable project outcomes. In simple terms, it focuses on achieving results and efficiency, not just on how much we spend. This approach helps ensure that every resource allocated contributes meaningfully to the project's success. Application in the case study, let's see how performance-based budgeting applies in this practice. It encourages alignment between cost and performance. Budgets are structured to ensure that the money spent is always connected to measurable project performance. Budgets are prepared by evaluating productivity. For each operation or subcontractor, productivity is carefully assessed to ensure that resources are used efficiently, reduces waste, and improve cost efficiency. And the last one, by linking the budgeting to actual performance. This method helps to minimize waste and improve overall cost control. Visual support, which is the S curve. On the right slides, we can see that the S curve physical and S curve kewangan, which represent physical and financial progress over time. This curve help track whether actual work and financial expenditures are aligning with planned targets. They are useful tools in performance-based budgeting to ensure projects are on schedule and on budget. So for this performance based, there are some pros and cons. The advantages of performance based budgeting, it will improve the accountability that will everyone involved can be held responsible for achieving the results. Second, it will enhance the public disclosure, which is to making the budget decisions more transparent. And the third one is supports better management by continuously comparing project objective and actual achievement. For the disadvantages to consider when we use the performance base, which is it will have to the potential for disagreement between the teams or risk and data manipulation from others. And the last one, it very less flexibility. So that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Nura Siva binti Alias. So today I will present for the current practice of the project budgetary control for the SSNP project, where they use the Scala system in this project. The Public Works Department, well known as JKR developer, applies a structured financial monitoring system like Scala system, well known as Sistem Kawalan and Lapo, which introduced by the JKR, which support the real-time project tracking and standard reporting. The system also incorporated budgetary control and monitor tools introduced by the Malaysia's Ministry of Education to manage the overseas development project budgets, particularly and typically for school construction and upgrades refurbishment. It provides a systematic framework for planning, recording and tracking budget allocations, expenditures and financial performance in real time. By generating analytical reports, Scala system enhances the transparency that ensures funds are used effectively and helps detect deviations early so the corrective actions or remedy actions can be taken promptly. These support better decision making and accountability across stakeholders in government projects. There are several key functions of Scala system for budgetary control in this project, comprising of they have plan budget where the system helps to set the project budget allocations. They also have track spending where the system monitors the expenditures against the budgets in real time. Next, they also have they also function in generate reports by producing the financial statement and analytical reports. Then they also detect the variance where they flex the budget overruns and overspending early and underspending early. And they also share the data by providing the centralized transparent access to the financial information for the stakeholders. Some of advantages of Scala system may be used for the Ssmp project. First, they have live cost tracking, where the system allows real-time budget compliance monitoring. Next, they have transparency and accountability, where the system uniform the access to financial data across stakeholders. Then they have a centralized reporting, where the system support the faster and more informed decision for the budget control. They also have risk identification, where the system early alerts facilitate for mitigation of budget risk. Last, they have regular monitoring. If SSMP have adopted system like Scala early on, it could have achieved better financial performance, timely delivery, and improved stakeholders' collaboration. The integration of the digital tools is essential and important for enhancing better financial control in future public projects. The disadvantages of Scala system comprising of first, they affect the technical dependence where the Scala system relies on the computers and internet connectivity. If there is a technical failure or poor internet, especially in common rural areas, the system cannot function properly. That can disrupt the budget monitoring. Second, they also affect to the high initial setup cost, where the process to setting up the Scala system needs an investment in software, hardware, and the staff training, which can be expensive, especially for smaller organization or school with a limited budgets. Next, the system also affect to the user resistance, where the staff need to use the manual process that might resist switching to the Scala system. That fearing where they're fearing the technology or extra work, which can delay the adoption and reduce its effectiveness. Next, the system also can affect to the data entry errors, where the Scala system depends on the timely and accurate data input. If users enter wrong or later information, the budget data will be misleading, that affect to the decision making. Last, the system also affect to the maintenance challenges, where the system needs ongoing updates and technical support. Without proper maintenance, it can become outdated or prone to errors that require time and resource that some institutions may lack. There are some challenges that may affect from the using of Scala system for the SSPM project. First, they have lack of real-time monitoring. Even though the Scala system is designed for live tracking, if users have delayed data entry or the system is not updated frequently, the budget information becomes outdated and making it hard to spot the issue early. Second, they have weak stakeholders communication. If the stakeholders like project managers, contractor, QS, architect, engineer, and also including the finance officer, do not actively share or discuss the budget data from the Scala system, any issues like misunderstandings and misaligned expectation can arise from the between parties. that affect to the project decision making. Next, they also have inconsistent documentation when the supporting documents like invoice or approvals are not uploaded or recorded in uniformly. The Scala system record become incomplete. That reduce the transparency and accountability. Next, they also have minimal use of the technology. Some of department or project teams may still rely on manuals or paper process instead of fully utilizing Scala's digital features that limiting its effectiveness in budget control. Next, they also doesn't have uh, no centralized budget authority, where without a single team or officer overseeing Scala system data, the inconsistencies and conflicting figures can occur as different users might manage budgets independently. Next, they also have lack of contingency planning, where the system may not be effectively used to plan or record contingency funds, that leaving projects unprepared for unexpected costs, which can affect to the delays or overspending. Last, they also have delay in approvals. If the projects like fund release, if the project approvals like fund release payment process claim or are slow and delay due to the bureaucracy or unclear workflows, the Scala system can reflect accurate budget status in real time, hampering the timely to the decision making.
My name is Sherin Amira and I will present for review and discussion on the problems. Effective budgeting and project management are essential for the successful delivery of any project. However, several recurring issues can derail progress and inflate costs. Here are 6 major problems that commonly affect budgeting and project outcome. First is contractor replacement. One of the most disruptive issues is the replacement of underperforming contractors. When contractors fail to meet expectations, they must be terminated and replaced, resulting in additional costs for retendering, legal processes, and rework. This not only strains the budget but also causes delay that further increase expenses. Second is prolonged delays. Projects that extend far beyond their original timelines face serious financial consequences. Over time, material and labor costs rise, and the project incurs ongoing overheads such as site management and utilities. This delay also reduces stakeholder confidence and the overall value of the project. Next is weak monitoring and risk responses. Without a formal risk management system, projects are vulnerable to unexpected disruption. When risks are not identified and addressed early, they can escalate into major issues that require emergency spending. This depletes contingency funds and leads to unplanned budget increase. Fourth is institutional gaps. Poorly defined roles and fragmented oversights create confusion and inefficiency. When responsibilities are unclear, tasks may be duplicated and neglected, leading to wasted resources and poor decision making. These gaps weaken project governance and increase both direct and indirect costs. Fifth is risk and quality control. Inconsistent quality assurance practices and result in defective work that must be redone. This not only increase immediate costs but also affect the long-term durability and value of the project. Regular QA/QC reporting and audits are essential to avoid this issue. Lastly is scope and design coordination. Frequent design change and poor coordination between consultants and site teams can lead to scope creep. Without a structured change management process, this change causes confusion, delay, and cost overruns. Continuous stakeholder alignment is necessary to maintain control over the project scope. Next is budget impact metric. As we can see that one major issue is contractor replacement. When contractor underperform and need to be replaced, it leads to direct cost increase. This include termination fees, retendering expenses, and the cost of redoing poor quality work. It also causes delay, which further strain the budget. Prolonged delay are another serious problem. When a project stretches over many years, costs naturally rise due to inflation, increased labor rates, and extended use of resources like electricity and site management. This delay also reduces the long-term value of the project as the benefits are postponed or diminished. A lack of risk monitoring and responses can also hurt the budget. Without a proper risk management plan, unexpected problems like supply chain disruption or weather delays can catch the team off guard. This leads to emergency spending and the rapid use of contingency funds, which were meant for true emergency. Next is institutional gap, such as unclear rules and poor communication, lead to inefficiencies. Tasks may be duplicated or missed entirely, and decision may be delayed. This issue increases both direct and indirect costs as more time and resources are needed to fix mistakes. Risk and quality control problems also have a big impact. If quality checks are not done regularly, poor workmanship may go unnoticed until it's too late. Fixing this issue later is often more expensive than doing it right the first time. This also affects the long-term value of the project as maintenance costs rise. Finally, scope and design coordination problems can cause frequent change to the project plan. Without a formal change management process, this change leads to scope creep where the project grows beyond its original plan. This result is higher material and labor costs and delays, all of which inflate the budget. In conclusion, these six problems can all lead to serious budget issues. Addressing them early with strong planning, monitoring, and communication is key to keeping a project financially on track. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum, and my name is Aiman, and I will continue with the financial decision to the problem occur. So financial decision that we can recommendation is firstly the implementation real-time budgeting platform. Secondly, they apply zero-based budgeting. The third one, they strengthen the procurement and payment. And finally, they adopt performance-based payment. So firstly, the implements real-time budgeting platform. This involves adopting a digital system similar to the public work department, as we know the JKR, and as we know as a scalar system that can track expenditures and project progress as there is happening. Unlikely a traditional method is provide an immediate insight into the financial health. So we can see the Ssmp currently lacking a real-time monitoring, leading to a delayed detection of cost deviation. By implementing a platform like Scala, Ssmp can gain live cost tracking capability. So the next thing is the apply zero-based budgeting. So this DZB requires every expenditure to be justified from scratch for each new budgeting period. This means that there's no previous budget is assumed to be correct, and every item must be re-evaluated for its necessary and cost efficiency. So we can see the Ssmp has faced over a decade of delay due to inefficiency and weakness financial oversight. So this method is particularly suitable for reforming mismanage projects like Ssmp because it forced a throughout reassessment of all expenditures, eliminating the waste and ensuring that all future spending is aligned with the realistic need and project objective. So the third one, which is the strengthening the procurement and payment, this focus on standardizing and optimizing the process, include having a clear guidelines, digital workflows for approval and efficiency system for claims. And we can see that in SSMP is delayed in approval and cash flow issues can significantly hinder a project progress, as indicated by SSMP's past challenge. By strengthening this process, SSMP can prevent bottleneck of neck in funding, ensuring contractors are paid on time and maintain a smooth flow of resource necessary for construction. And finally, the adopt performance-based payment. This payment models link payment to the achievement of specific predefined project time milestone or performance indicator rather than simply paying based on time elapsed and resources consumed. And with the history of underperforming contractors and significant incomplete portion of SSMP, can leverage a performance-based payment to incentive efficiency and reduce a delay. This approach encourages contractors to meet agreed upon the progress target, as the payment are directly tied to tangible achievement. And that's all for me, and thank you very much.
There are several types of sources of finance that used by the SSPM project, especially for the internal sources. They have contingency allocations from ministry. It can be defined as the additional emergency funds could be allocated specifically for delays and cost escalations. It refers to the additional funds set aside by the government ministry overseen by the project to cover unexpected costs or variations during the construction process. The budget provided from a contingency amount, typically 5% of total project cost. Next, they use performance-based disbursement. The conditional funding based on the achieved milestone to improve accountability and ensures funds are well utilized. Such payment to contractors or suppliers are made according to the actual work progress complete, as documented in progress claim on invoice. Instead of paying a fixed amount upfront, disbursement are released only when specific milestone or stages of the project are achieved and verified. Next, for the external sources, they use bank loan from RHB Bank Berhad. Um, the total loan that approved is 14 million, and the current paid by the project is only 9 million. Next, external sources they use from the SSPM project is public-private partnership, where it collapse the government and private firms that provide capital and technical expertise in exchange for future concession or operational rules. In the conclusion, it can be concluded that the Ssmp project served as a cautionary tale of the consequence of poor budgetary control. Despite its importance, the project has suffered from weak financial management, delayed payment, and insufficient use of technology. In contrast, best practices such as those employed by JKR through the Scala system demonstrate how digital solutions and structures process can greatly improve their budget performance. As a recommendation to ensure the successful completion, the SSMP project must adopt a disciplined approach, like implementing real-time monitoring tools, clarifying financial responsibilities, and also securing the diverse funding sources. These reforms will not only revive the current project but also set a new standard for managing future public construction initiative in Malaysian construction.
That's all from us for the presentation of case study Sekolah Sukan Malaysia Perlis. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.